The hidden lives of urban wildlife is a fascinating topic, highlighting the often overlooked animals that live in and around cities. Urban areas, though dominated by human infrastructure, provide habitats for a surprising variety of wildlife that have adapted to city life. These animals, ranging from birds and mammals to insects and reptiles, often have secret lives that we might not notice as we go about our daily routines. Here are a few key themes or stories that explore the hidden lives of urban wildlife. Adaptation to the city. Urban wildlife often has to adapt to the challenges of city life, including noise, pollution, and the lack of natural habitats. However, many species have found creative ways to thrive. For example, pigeons, once wild birds, have become city dwellers by nesting on buildings and feeding off discarded food. Similarly, foxes have adapted to the nocturnal lifestyle, hunting small mammals and scavenging in trash bins at night when the streets are quieter. The nightlife. Many urban animals are nocturnal, using the cover of darkness to navigate the city. Bats, for instance, feed on insects drawn to streetlights, while raccoons and skunks forage in alleys after dark. These nocturnal creatures have developed unique behaviors to avoid human interaction while taking advantage of the resources the city offers. Urban wildlife often has a completely different rhythm compared to human inhabitants. Urban thriving in the margins. Cities are often full of spaces that might seem inhospitable but actually provide refuge for wildlife. Green spaces like parks, vacant lots, and community gardens can become small ecosystems in the middle of an urban jungle. Trees, shrubs, and even cracks in the pavement offer shelter and food for birds, insects, and small mammals. Urban wildlife often thrives in these pockets of nature, adapting to the wildlife corridors that have developed through human activity. Coexistence and conflict. While many species have learned to coexist with humans, there are also instances where conflicts arise. For example, coyotes have started to move into more populated areas, and their encounters with humans can sometimes lead to tension. Similarly, animals like rats and pigeons, while often considered pests, can have a delicate balance in urban ecosystems. In some cases, humans have to take steps to manage the populations of certain species, while in others, urban wildlife contributes to the ecosystem's overall health. Invisible species. The microfauna. Beyond the more visible animals, many creatures live quietly in the shadows of cities. These include insects like ants, cockroaches, and moths, as well as small invertebrates like spiders and worms. Though often overlooked, these tiny creatures are essential for pollination, decomposition, and maintaining the health of ecosystems. They are the unseen workers of the urban wild. The resilience of urban species. In some cases, urban environments provide refuge for species that are struggling in more natural habitats. The gray wolf, for example, is slowly reintroducing itself to some urban areas in North America. And the return of certain bird species, like the peregrine falcon, to skyscrapers is a testament to the resilience of wildlife. Urban areas are increasingly being recognized as vital habitats for species in decline. Urban conservation has become a growing field, with cities around the world starting to prioritize wildlife-friendly policies. This can include the creation of wildlife corridors, green roofs, and habitat restoration projects. In cities like New York, bird-friendly glass design is being implemented to reduce the number of bird fatalities caused by window strikes. More people are also growing aware of how their gardening choices can support local wildlife, with native plants offering food and shelter to pollinators and birds. Cities also act as corridors for wildlife migration, and this movement can sometimes cause surprising encounters. For instance, some animals such as deer or bears may wander into suburban or even urban areas, drawn by food sources or habitat disruption elsewhere. These unexpected visitors often prompt conversations about how cities can integrate wildlife into urban planning. Squirrels. Common but fascinating, squirrels have adapted to city life by living in parks, green spaces, and even urban forests. They can often be seen raiding bird feeders or darting across busy streets. Pigeons. Though often considered a nuisance, pigeons are resilient and have been living alongside humans for centuries, adapting to urban environments by nesting on buildings and finding food scraps in public spaces. Coyotes. In places like Los Angeles and Chicago, coyotes are becoming more common in urban and suburban neighborhoods. They often appear in residential areas, looking for food and water, and generally thrive in the outskirts of cities. Rats and mice. These small mammals are incredibly adept at living alongside humans. They thrive in subways, sewers, and any areas with abundant food sources. Birds of prey, falcons, hawks, and even owls can be spotted in urban environments. Peregrine falcons, in particular, have adapted to nesting on tall buildings, taking advantage of the city's abundant supply of pigeons for food. The hidden lives of urban wildlife remind us that the natural world is never far away, even in bustling cities. From the nighttime scavengers to the tiniest insects, these creatures are part of the intricate web of life that exists all around us. By paying attention to the animals around us and supporting urban conservation efforts, we can help ensure that both wildlife and humans can thrive together in urban environments.